Hey Freedom Family, I'm Mark, and I'm so glad you're here at _Freedom for Life _ where we have honest conversations that are sometimes challenging, sometimes hard, sometimes glorious, sometimes victorious, but always honest and always authentic. Have you ever had that time where you just lost patience, where there was something that set you off, or you just blew your top? Well, I found out this week a secret. In fact, it's a two-step secret to overcoming impatience and actually having patience in your life. If you want to know what it is, stick around. And as we're getting started today, could you do me a favor? Could you become a part of the Freedom family? Could you subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you are a part of every conversation that we're having? I don't know if you work for a living, but I do, and they have these things on the way from my home to my job, and they're called red lights. Have you ever run across any? If you're in the US or you're in the developed world, they have these things that are helping with traffic. And what those things are traffic lights. And so if you get a green one, you get to go. You know this already. If you get a red one, you have to stop. Well, I was driving this week to my destination and kept running across these red lights, which means that I was getting later, I was getting more frustrated, and I was losing my patience. And then you have the drivers who are getting in front of you, right? And for some reason, I like to go beyond the speed limit, and some people don't. But why is it the people who like to go under the speed limit were in front of me in a time when I needed to get somewhere quickly? Well, I had this realization that happened in the middle of me being frustrated, trying to find a faster way that didn't happen, and hitting all of these red lights. What happened was I was getting angry at a light, and then freedom journey, right? Having these conversations in your head, God speaking to you. Come to find out, this question was being asked: why are you getting mad? The problem isn't the lights, the problem is you. See, here's the issue in trying to get somewhere quickly. Have you ever been in that place where things just didn't work out the way you had planned them, where the thing that you wanted to have happen, the roadmap in your mind, the opportunity, the direction, the timing, the thing that you wanted to have come to pass didn't come to pass, or maybe it took longer than you wanted it to. You wanted to be there quickly, and it seemed to take you forever. That's where I was at in that time, and I found there was two secrets, an understanding in two levels that I needed to have in order to not have the red lights be the issue in my life, not have impatience gaining momentum in my life, but to actually being able to walk in patience that allowed me to not just get where I was going, whether it was a destination, a job, a career, or a business or whatever, but to actually have peace along the journey. Come to find out, patience is never built during easy times when things are smooth sailing and everything works out exactly like you want it to. In my life, and I guarantee in yours as well, patience is built in those times when things aren't going according to plan. And that's what makes it challenging, because when things aren't going according to plan, that's the time that a value statement is made, right? Not because we want it to, but as you walk in your freedom journey, you'll understand this. When things aren't going the way I want them to, and I react in a way I don't want, with impatience, with anger, with frustration, really what's happening is the circumstance I am in is giving me a value statement on me. So like in this circumstance, when I was going to my job and I was trying to get there on time and everybody was getting in the way, the value statement, the thing that was being said was, what happens if I'm late? Right? It makes me look like I'm irresponsible, or I'm supposed to be there on time, or what are people going to think? You don't rehearse these things in your head, but you feel them in your emotions, and so frustration builds because I've got to get there on time. Why? Why would it matter if I got there this time versus 10 minutes later? What would be the difference in who I was as a person? But when we have value statements added to the reactions, the responses, and the things that are going on around us, then we have impatience. And isn't it interesting and glorious that we get to walk through these times of great challenge, because in those times of great challenge, we start to reflect on who we are, and in that place build patience in our lives. So here's the question. I've got two things for you in the times when things aren't going right. beyond the fact that you start to understand that you are not your circumstances. So whether I get someplace on time or not, whether the plans work out or not, whether I succeed or I fail, whether they happen in the time frame I want them to, or they happen years later, they're happening in the time they're supposed to. But here's the question. What are you supposed to be learning in the delay? Like me on my road trip and you in the challenges of your life, it's not just so that we can build up our patience muscles. It's because there's a lesson to be learned in the delay about us, right? The freedom journey. The freedom journey is figuring out, hey, what's standing in the way of the life that I'm called to live? I'm not called to be impatient. I'm called to be patient. So this golden nugget I'm trying to give you today is this. What are you being taught in the delay? What is the lesson you're supposed to be learning? Here's the truth of the matter. The sooner you focus on the lesson you're supposed to learn, the less the situation can frustrate you, because now I'm looking forward into what I'm growing and building instead of what I'm being held back from. So the very first golden nugget I would give you is this. Ask yourself this question. What am I being taught? What lesson am I supposed to learn in this delay? And here's the second golden nugget, the one thing I want you to take home from that. It's this. The lesson will outlast the situation. As I said, the lesson will outlast the situation, which means this, you're building something. It's not just me building up those patience muscles so I can get through the frustrating situations of my life. It's because you're building towards something. This life mastery journey that you're walking on is building towards something, and the foundation is those moments. And here's the truth. That lesson I learned in that time and that opportunity for patience, I get to carry in the rest of my life. So the next time that situations come up like that, I see lessons, not frustrations, and I walk in patience and peace, not in anger and worry. You're building towards something, and it's in the challenging situations, the refining fire, right, that you start to become the person that you're created to be. I wish it was easy for me to become the person that I was created to be, but it's not. It's in those times, those lessons, those places where you get to grab a hold of these nuggets. The first one is, what's the lesson I'm learning in the delay? And the second one is this understanding that the lesson will outpace the situation. My lesson will last much longer than the situation I walk through, and I get to change. So the next time I don't have to relearn the same lesson. Grab a hold of these two nuggets, and the next time you're in that traffic situation, that time situation, that issue where things aren't working out the way you want them to, you'll actually turn them into a benefit and a blessing. You've got it on the inside of you, and we are here to help you. If you want to know step by step how to not just do one nugget or two or three, but to actually have a whole comprehensive plan that step by step takes you from where you're at to where you're called and created to be, right? Becoming the person who you're created to be so you can have the life you're created for, and overcoming every frustrating situation that stands in the way. DM me or check out our website down below. We have a course called Life Mastery. That is exactly what you need to become the person you're created to be and to build patience instead of frustration. Check that out. DM me on Instagram or Facebook as the background music is playing, and live the life that you're created for. You have it on the inside of you. Don't settle for what life gives you. Turn it into something that benefits you. And if you do nothing else, first off, share this video with somebody you know who gets easily frustrated. Give us a like. Let us know something matters in the comments down below. Give us a conversation you want to have, because we want to have that conversation with you. And at the end of the day, if you do nothing else, dominate your day.